Hey, and welcome to the SLO City Together Podcast. I'm Jordan. I'm here with Brent. What's up?
Hey.
Hey. A little delayed there. That's
I thought you were
right.
talking to the listener.
Well, yes, I always am.
Yes.
I always am.
Always talking to the listener. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. We had kind of an action-packed weekend.
You got a haircut?
I felt like I did get a haircut. I'm trying the beard thing just a little longer.
I'm a fan of the beard.
Because why not?
Keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm about to give up.
No, don't give up.
I might.
It looks great.
No.
What was your action-packed weekend?
I mean,
Did
church.
you say action-packed?
Church. Yeah. It was just guest speaker. You were leading. I got to play drum. It was
that was fun.
It was exciting. A little change of pace all around.
It was very fun.
It's good for the soul, right?
I
I'm
liked
not a
it.
change guy, but it still felt good.
What's a change that you've made in your life that you are excited about?
I moved across the country about 12 months ago.
Yeah, and you have a beard.
3,000 miles.
And now you have a beard.
Yeah,
it was a good Sorry, it was a good weekend. I'm like kind of I have a case of the Mondays. It's just like it's like a little haze, and it matches the weather. It's a little drizzly, and I think I'm slow to the draw.
I did. So the rain. It was raining here. I think it's over. 45 minutes of rain.
Yeah, it's all we get.
But I was hoping you would say like, hey, let's just not do anything today. Let's all stay
sleep
home.
in. Well, you asked when I was coming in. And
I
so
know.
That assumed that I was coming in.
When I say I wished that, it's not true because I love routine so much. I was actually chomping at the bit to get out the door. But yeah, it did. It felt like a day to go back to bed and watch movies.
Wow. I've been literally every night. I'm like, hey, what movie can we watch tonight? Because
family or you and Jenna?
Well, family, because my kids never sleep.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Like Keegan and Cole, it is a battle. At 9:30, we're like, okay, guys, come on, you got to go to bed.
Wind it down.
And they're like, it's we don't have anything to get up in the morning. And then they fight us. And then like finally by 10, we're like, okay, seriously, now get up and go to bed. And so they go brush their teeth, meander to the kitchen, take a drink, stand there, look at us.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you've ever felt that feeling of like, you want to chase somebody down and tackle them.
Yeah.
But that's every night at about 10:15. And so then you're like, you can't watch a movie together.
No. Well, you guys are late nighters, man. We have to, man. I didn't ever expect this. I need my kids to go to bed early because I can't stay up much past 10:30, and so it's like I want at least 2 solid hours with Blair where we're not.
Yeah. Do you guys like have deep talks?
Sometimes.
Do you guys get in? So Jen and I have been on this we get in a conversation of like, what side are you on in like the coronavirus spectrum?
Right.
1 to 10. Like
you forced that upon us on the Zoom patio yesterday. Thank you.
But like, because Jenna's on the side of like
caution.
And I agree. We both like to play devil's advocate. I think with each other.
Yeah.
And just poke and prod and like, well, what about this? You haven't thought about this,
right?
And so it's like teetering on the verge of like argument,
right? But it's like a sport more than anything. Spectator sport. Yeah, I get that.
So for the 2 hours you have with Blair, do you guys talk about life, watch a movie, watch a British crime show?
We don't watch any British crime shows. It really depends. We tend to talk the most deeply when we walk. We've been going on a lot of walks lately, and that tends to be when we talk the most deeply. When we lived in Kentucky, we had this finished basement that was just like a big room, and after we put the kids to bed, we would just go walk in circles around the basement.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
You would just walk in circles?
Around the big room and talk. And so we did it a couple nights ago in our house. Our house is kind of like a shotgun.
Yeah.
And so we just walked to the front door, to the back door, to the front
door.
Just
because you like to move?
Yeah. Why not? That helps me.
Okay.
Like when you talk on the phone, can you sit still and talk on the phone? I cannot.
It depends. I get to a point where I have to stand and run. And you've been around me when I'm like, I got to go. Right. I got to get out of here. I got to do something.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is. I pace when I talk on the phone. I
it's kind of like
sit
a tick?
still. Yeah, it's like the physical motion helps my
fidget
mind.
spinner?
Yeah.
You just need a fidget spinner, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I probably do. So, we've just always, I think we're both wired that way a little. She not so much, but me definitely. I have to be physically moving for my brain and my mouth.
And it would be
moving.
weird if she was sitting in one place
and I was walking to the front door.
You were walking circles around her.
Yeah. If you had like noise canceling headphones so that she couldn't hear my real voice, and then we talked on the phone or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as the kids get older, it's just you're fighting for time and in space. And and then when the kids go to bed, it's like silence. It's like, hold on, turn off
silence.
Just like let's turn down the TV if it's on. Let's put on The Office. Yeah. Or I've been watching Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen it? I went through. It came out when I was in college, and
I watched the first wave. I didn't get back into it once they rekindled it.
But it's kind of funny to watch back. And
does it hold up? Is the humor?
Yeah, I mean, it's late at night, so I'm laying there or sitting there, and I giggle a little bit. it's good.
Does Jenna like it?
I think she's hit like that's her time. That why she's a late nighter. I don't think is necessarily by choice, but she is like I'm pretty quick on the draw, and I'm like, okay, I can process things pretty quickly, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. But
that's
she
her
just likes
unpacking
to
and processing
unpack.
time.
She uses, she can have some her time, and sometimes it's best just to chill. So that's she can do her thing. So anyway, it was an action-packed weekend.
Thank you. Yeah. Did you enjoy Kyle?
I did. I thought Kyle was
Kyle's
great.
a friend of yours. I've met him once or twice, but don't know him the way you do.
I've kind of told the story before a couple podcasts ago about how he's just generous to our family. But he is now the lead pastor of Southeast Christian Church in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a very large place, very large church, gathering collection of people.
Gargantuan.
Many campuses.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of great work in the city and around the world. And it was super. He's crazy busy, and it was super awesome.
Now, tell me this, because I feel like I have like a radar for how authentic a person is being.
Yes.
And he strikes me as just an off the charts, humble, normal, like
he's
what
normal.
You see is what you get.
Honestly, when you talk to him in person, that's his preaching.
Right. Cadence.
Yeah. Yeah. And what were we watching the other night? We were watching some stand-up, and it was Jerry Seinfeld. And Jenna goes, he sounds like Kyle, or Kyle sounds like him. You know what's crazy is that some preachers honestly study
stand-up
the cadence. I don't. I'm not that I smart. I don't know, or like care that much maybe. But like they study, like they watch stand-up because the delivery of comedians and he kind of has that. I don't know if he does or not, but Jenna was like, he sounds like Jerry Seinfeld. I've known some guys to sound like Brian Regan when they tell a joke.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a friend in Kentucky who always made fun of me the way I use my hands when I would preach or talk in front of a group, and he would say, I've never really watched Lewis Black.
Yeah.
But he's this like really like he gets hot and like excited about things in his hands, and so they would always make fun of me for that. But
I don't make fun of you ever.
No, you don't ever.
I don't. But yeah, Kyle, dude, super humble, and he. So here's what's weird about Kyle is that he is relatively well known.
Yeah.
All over the country, at least. Like City on a Hill Productions, like does stuff with King and Country, which I don't really listen to them, but he does a lot of like in the Christian circle.
Yeah.
Well known. And he gave his time to a little startup church in San Luis Obispo, I think.
Right. It was cool.
And we didn't pay him anything.
Yeah.
And
we
don't have anything to give him. I told Jen, I was like, should I send him a mug?
And a Lucy's $5 gift card. Sorry, man. That's all we got.
Yeah, we got a couple extra Lucy's $5 gift cards and
if you ever get out this way.
Sugar Lips donuts, mini donuts from Sugar Lips.
Those are delicious.
So I got a funny. So
what?
So some people didn't know that the donut company that we got for Mother's Day was called Sugar Lips.
Yeah.
And I had a friend text Jenna and I don't know if this is shareable, but and she said, "Man, the donuts are so good." I said, and she said, "Were those homemade?" to Jenna and I. So text to Jenna and I and this person. And I said, no, period, sugar lips. And Jenna said, does she know that Sugar Lips is the name of a company? Because that could be dangerous if you're just texting Sugar Lips to people.
That'd be smooth.
No, it wouldn't be smooth. I'm a married man. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's good.
It was a good. I appreciated his setup of the series. I'm excited about the next couple weeks. We're gonna have some stories, and there's gonna be a way. I think we're trying to figure out a way for people to share their grace is greater. I want to say than, right? But grace is greater than story.
Yeah.
And I think if we can create a way for anonymity for some people to like share, like, here's my grace story. Yeah. And in writing or in video form, it's probably harder to do.
We can do that
with
the dark face. I can distort the voices. I can do it. I can get the voices. We should do a tester.
So I'm excited about the next couple weeks. It was nice for me. I don't know if it was nice for you to like change up the week and not go through the sermon process. And it was also helpful to like listen and for me to just be for not sounding cheesy, but ministered to in that. So I mean,
I liked it.
So it was great. And dude, you're a great drummer.
Oh, thank you.
You're so good. Jenna was like, what's the duct tape? Oh, she said it.
Yeah, she asked.
What's the duct tape on the drums? You want to explain that?
Well, yeah, I do. I'm very passionate about drum tuning and drum sounds. It's one of my deep passions. So yeah, when you tune a drum, it has like a ringiness because it's like the two heads on either side vibrate, and so you have to find a way to dry it out a little. Is what like you want to make it drier sounding. Typically, some styles of music you don't, but for worship stuff, you want it to be like a pop, doom, doom, not a like rototoms. So you try to deaden it out a little bit. So that just dampens it. And like under one piece, there's like a little balled up paper towel that even pushes
deadens it a little bit.
So yeah,
does that make sense, Jenna?
You got that. So it was fun. I was pretty. I was happy with how it turned out.
It was great.
Disclaimer. Yeah, I'm like there are very good drummers.
Yeah,
I can play the drums.
No.
I'm not flashy. I don't have the flash.
Here's the deal with drums. As a former worship leader, you just have to be confident and go.
It's the pocket, man, and how you hit it.
And you did.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You feel it.
It was
Some
fun.
people are really timid, and you're like, dude, you can't be scared and play the drums.
No, you can't.
You can't.
No, you can't.
Because you can make it or break it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was nice, man. It was nice for me. Jenna was asking, like, was it fun to lead? I'm like, honestly, I haven't played with a band in almost 2 years.
Yeah, we've talked about this, right? That was kind of your background. That's where we met.
Yeah,
that's where we met. Was
originally.
playing. You were leading. I would play bass for you.
I was thinking about that yesterday while I was shooting hoops with Cole. I was like,
I
think I remember meeting you in the basement of Bethel Church of Christ.
Yeah.
And seeing you with your crazy hair. And I think I was like, I wonder what that guy's story is. And now I'm sitting here with you in San Luis Obispo, California.
I know.
Talking every Monday and Thursday on a podcast.
I remember driving to a retreat with your sister and your wife before I was dating your sister.
What?
Singing Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious definition. Make them boys go loco.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
I remember it's just
you were singing it?
We were all singing it, man.
Did I have kids? Probably one.
Oh. It was right on the line, right before or right after you had Keegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, was that in like...
No, it was before.
It
was before. It was before.
So was I at Lakeside?
No, but you had just recently left.
That's crazy.
Like it was right after you left.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question.
Okay.
Do you have neck problems, like back
Sometimes.
problems? Dude, I have had a crick in my neck.
Yeah, a couple months ago I had one. It affects your whole life.
So do you want to hear a funny story? One time I get cricks in my neck often. You know, I've got some friends who've said like, "Oh, you have a giraffe neck," because I do have a like tall, skinny neck.
You need new friends, man.
Hey, your friends are making fun of your hands. we both need new friends. That's why we found each other.
Mm-hmm.
But one time I cracked my neck really bad. And that the same morning I read a proverb. And it was kind of like that. You stiff-necked people who refuse. And I was like, maybe this is a physical reality that I'm experiencing to teach me a spiritual truth. Like maybe I'm being really stubborn and hard-headed in this season. I don't know. You can't marry all those things together.
Yeah, that's a dangerous road to walk down.
That's bad theology. But if it draws your attention to something, maybe that's a benefit.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah. What else, Jordan?
What else? Can we walk down the road?
Yeah.
That you may have more insight about than
Yes.
It's interesting to me. So, is this interesting for everybody though? I'm just always drawn to preaching styles.
Uh-huh.
And when I listen to Kyle, his style is different than yours, is different than the next person. But how do you where are preaching styles formed? Because Kyle has a very similar type of cadence to a guy I worked with in Kentucky, and they went to the same college.
Huh.
Right? Where did Kyle go? He's
Ozark.
Ozark, yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a very specific kind of delivery that is similar in feel. And so is it who professionally trained? Like, is college where that forms, you think? Or is it...
I don't know. Do
you have any thoughts on that?
So I have a theory.
Okay.
I think, well, for one, you're going to have some preachers who just straight up imitate, who just watch one person.
Somebody, and they're like, I want to be
I've got
like that.
somebody in mind who I know who literally sounds exactly like may preach these same words in the same ways and the same points.
Yeah.
And because they watch one person that they really enjoy. And they think like that's the only way.
That's the standard. That's the measuring stick.
And somebody may watch Francis Chan and go, I'm going to preach just like, well, you've got to have passion like Francis Chan,
right?
And you've got
experiences like Francis Chan.
Yeah, and so there's imitation, and then I think there's like the rub off principle, like where you're around a bunch of people who say you were to move to, I don't know, Portland,
yeah,
and everybody,
and you get way smarter. You start reading a lot more academia.
You get way more minimalistic.
Yeah.
You wear, no stripes on your shirts, just blank tees. Anyway, I don't know what Portland's like, but that's my stereotype. But very, but I think you start saying the same words as people, and I think that could be for who other preachers listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know. Like, I guess I
Where
get
do
that.
you have any sense
Well,
of
how about-
this is what formed me?
Or honestly,
because I don't think in you I see like, oh, he sounds like this guy.
Huh.
I wish I think I see that.
When I watch myself back, I'm like, man, I wish I had a different voice.
Yeah, don't we all think that about ourselves?
But I think, I don't know. I listen to a wide array of people.
Yeah.
And I recognize if I try and be John Tyson,
yeah,
for one, I can't be John Tyson.
The accent would
because
be
I'm
a
not
red
from
flag.
Australia,
Like, yeah.
and I'm not as smart, honestly. I mean, in the same ways.
You might be as smart as
It may be different ways, but like I think, and I would just feel disingenuous to try and rip somebody else off.
Right.
Like I have a really hard time. A lot of people in this season have said like, hey, this is a season where you can preach other people's stuff. And I'm like, I have a really hard time printing off a sermon from someone else,
like verbatim.
And people
can. I do think
people can do that. People can do that.
People
though.
do that.
I can't do that.
Yeah, but hold on though. Is there a fine line? Because like I don't think there's anything wrong with going, oh, I heard this guy preach on this.
I don't think so either.
And like, oh, that was powerful.
But in your own voice and from your own personality and from your own like spirit.
But you're talking like literally getting the transcript and going,
yes,
here goes nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And I think like you can't just rely on just winging it. So that's why I don't know. I listen to a wide array of guys. John Tyson. I've listened to John Ortberg some recently. I listened to Jordan Rice from Renaissance. Listen to Kyle. But maybe it's like I don't know. But I've also changed as a communicator since SLO City, I would say. And
really?
Skylar might be a better person to ask about that.
Someday.
Because I think preaching to high school students
Oh, it's different. Yeah, yeah.
And even like room size.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
there have been,
I agree.
preached to like a youth conference where there are like 1,500 high school youth groups in the room.
Yeah.
And your level of, I don't know what changes necessarily, but
Well, there's like an adrenaline factor.
there's
I
some
think,
of that,
you
yeah.
know?
And that's why probably I don't know if I seem more subdued in video or if it's, I don't know. It's
a different kind of
I don't
adrenaline
necessarily
for
have
sure.
one person to say like, I think I preach like that person because I don't know. I have a little bit of a
cumulative effect.
Inferiority complex.
Oh,
too.
well,
So I think we all probably do in our
sure.
own respects.
Can I put you on the spot? What do you have something that comes to mind if I said, what's the least prepared you've ever been to preach? Like, does something pop in your mind where you're like, oh, yeah, there was this one time.
In the past 2 years?
No, like in your life. Like, was there ever a time where you were just like completely...
Yes. I remember it. I remember multiple times on a Sunday morning when I was at Southeast. I was a high school, led the next gen ministry, high school pastor. And I remember Sunday morning going like, what I had thought I had is terrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm like kind of cramming last minute and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And literally, surprisingly, some of those things worked out okay because then you just start burying your soul. Well, and I think people just want real and authentic.
That's the interesting thing about preaching. Like, it's not to say it's like an internal thing, but like if you're like, if I put it in my context of worship leading, like there's only so much of like, scrap it. That when you have other people who've prepared and who are like at different skill levels, where it's not like you can just go like, I got 1 minute, let's throw it all out. I mean, I guess you could
throw it all out, do it, wing it.
It's just different than, I mean, you could be walking up and be like, this feels wrong. I gotta adjust. And it's like, you're the only one who's accountable.
And who knows, probably.
And who knows, you know what I mean? And so that's always been interesting to me is like, to what degree do people go like, I'm halfway through and you know what? I have to steer the ship a little left.
Yeah.
I went right, but.
No, I think, so there's been some moments.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if we do this on here where we were recording, and we were recording a sermon. And most sermons that we've recorded are, I would say, one take with maybe like
with
one restart, minimal restart.
Hold on, give me.
But 2 weeks ago, I got 17 minutes into a sermon, and I'm like, guys, this is way too long. And then I self-defeated. And then I almost quit. I almost just said, we're done.
Almost punched a hole in the door like Kyle Eidelman.
How did that, I mean, so I talked to somebody on the phone
Yeah.
about that yesterday, and they're like, I really appreciated that. Did it make you feel uncomfortable? Did it make you feel like, were you like, oh.
That he said that?
Yeah. No, like, did it make you feel like, what did that make you feel when he said, when he shared that?
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. I like people going like,
good.
I'm not a polished.
I'm going to tell you who I stole from next week.
What do you mean?
I'm joking. I'm going to bare my soul.
I got you. Yeah.
I have a Moses moment. There's a guy buried in the sand.
I was curious, though, where he was going when he's like, I'm laying in the bed. And I'm like, why, where is he taking this?
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah.
And then I knew the second, third, fourth time. I tried to pretend that I didn't.
Yeah. I remember when he preached that. He actually,
that's
a story that he's preached before.
Yeah.
And when he actually shared it live, it was powerful, man. It was really powerful because I think like the level of authenticity that takes, and honestly, from his wife, the level of courage that takes from a guy with that many eyes on him, and like being in ministry, like pride is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Like especially in a big context where everybody's patting.
You can get puffed up quick.
Yeah, you can surround yourself with yes men, and they tell you all the right things.
Yeah,
and then. Yeah, pride can be a really dangerous deal and so to lead with really raw authenticity and repentance and have his wife do the same thing and lead with that courage was powerful in the room, and it's still powerful, like to continue to press into that and to know and to say like, we're all in the same boat. We've all got holes in our closet. We've all got, junk in the junk.
What?
We've all got junk in the trunk.
There was. I'm going to take this a different direction. Why did he stop before saying pat on the back.
I didn't hear that. Did you catch
Go
it?
back and watch it. I thought he was gonna say "but" or something. Like he stops short. And
Maybe he did. I've caught myself a couple times there too. Like we're like, whoop.
Can't say that. Yeah, no, but I think there's always like we've talked about mental health a lot in the past, but like anytime somebody opens up and says like, hey, people, you get like whenever I've talked about anxiety, people reach out and go, oh, hey, thank you. Because I wanted to ask somebody what, and it's just like, I think there's power in a leader going.
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with vulnerability.
And that was what I walked away with, encouraging to me of just going, I want to continue to be that. Because we could talk about bad church stories till we're blue in the face, probably. Sure. But like what's that Abraham Lincoln quote we once used? Like any man can navigate through adversity, but give a man power.
I have no recollection of this quote.
Well, that was in a sermon. We should have taken notes. It was about power. It's like give a man power to really see who he is. Yeah. And I think we've seen that for good in the church, like quote unquote power in, like where a servant leader who empties himself, who is honest and raw and cares, versus somebody who gets puffed up in pride and in power and become like a dictator, self lover, lover of self. Yeah. I don't know. Egocentric maniac who. Yeah. And then it's like, what are we doing here? Is this about him or is this about the church? Is this about Jesus? So that's why I love that our church is a together church and a we church and a together people.
I'm off.
No, go. We could go for it.
Well, my mind just went to, those old school presidents had some great quotes.
Presidents?
Yeah.
I thought you said precedents.
No, presidents.
Presidents.
Had some great quotes.
They did.
Never mind.
When are we going to start quoting the
like, what will those few quotes that Donald Trump, that a century from now, people go,
I don't know.
The president Donald Trump once said.
I'm
just so curious.
No matter where you land. As Donald
Do you have
Trump
a favorite presidential quote?
From Trump?
No. And I mean, I guess you could laugh at any of
a favorite presidential quote. No.
I just feel like there are those iconic presidential, like who... oh man!
One small step for man.
That's not a president. No. Like which president was it? Oh my goodness! Was it? It wasn't Calvin Coolidge, was it?
Dude, you are talking a language I don't know.
That said, I can't do everything at once, but I can do something at once. Like that's a.
Well, I think John F.K. had John F.K.
I've never heard it said that way.
Johnny F.K. Didn't he say like? Ask not what you can do for your
what your
country can do for you.
These
but what
iconic presidential moments where these presidents said these things.
I don't know. I'm not a big presidential historian.
So we'll close on this.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Calvin, one of my favorite stories. I don't know if it's true or not. I think it was Calvin Coolidge. He was a man of few words.
Yes.
And there's an old story that at a dinner party at the White House, he was known for like not talking. He just wouldn't talk to people, and so. The story is there was somebody there, they're having dinner and they go, I bet I can get him to say more than 3 words to me. Huh. And they said, okay, you're on, let's bet. They put some money on it. And he goes up and he says, hey, I just bet that guy $100 I could get you to say more than 3 words. And Calvin Coolidge says, you lose, and walks away. And
wow.
That's you got some stones.
That's
man.
A good one.
Yeah. Did I say that? Edit that one out.
Is that permissible in a sermon? I've said some things that are on the line, I think, before. But I think people like that.
Yeah.
That's why half of our country loves Trump, because he says things that they don't expect to hear from a president.
I guess so.
We could talk about that.
Maybe on Thursday.
Hey, you know what's going to be really weird is you brought up conspiracy theories last week. We could talk about
which I got
all of the coronavirus.
I was corrected, yes.
Yeah, you were corrected by Jim Hay.
He caught me. We've been back to the moon. You want to 5 times.
5 times.
Allegedly. Just kidding.
But we could do one on the current COVID-19.
I don't think I have any interest in doing that.
Oh, man, that'd be
you and Skylar, maybe.
Well, Skylar's deep into it. He's sitting over there on his phone looking at him right now. Go ahead.
Okay. Our camera just died, so I think that's the cue to go.
Not many people are watching the YouTube podcast. So
really?
It's okay. It's okay. It's good to have, though. But I think, So, hey,
Okay.
It's going to get warm.
Yeah.
We're going to have some popsicles soon.
Yeah, on the
pulling
patio,
We're pulling out the SLO City Pops bike.
I had an idea for that.
What?
I want to run by you.
Okay.
We'll do it off there, and then maybe
Okay.
we'll reveal it.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have a little fun with it.
We're excited about this week. Got a lot of things happening. Men's Bible study on Wednesday morning. Women's on Wednesday night. That's been so cool to see how the ladies have really pulled together in this season. Taking one step. This will probably be a slower week, and then we'll kind of ramp up with a plan. We got to talk. I'm going to be on a call this week with the today at 11 which is in like a little bit.
Yeah.
To watch a city report, and I've got like a report on like I don't know. I think it's. I'm not really sure
I don't know
it
what
is.
you're saying.
I got
now.
invited to a Zoom call
like for San Luis Obispo.
Okay,
Obispo
cool.
City. Awesome.
Where they don't see my face.
So you're on like a planning commission now.
No, I'm not. Absolutely. Yeah, they're like, hey, Brent. Bramer? Is
Brett?
it Bramer? Brett Bramer? What would you do with coronavirus? Our next, I would, I don't know. What would I do?
I don't know.
I've got a plan.
Good. I don't.
So,
All right.
Good
well,
hanging.
We love y'all.
Happy Monday.
See you on the other side.
See ya.
Peace.